Guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Motusant Como. These days we've been having a lot of dialogues. I'm really enjoying this, so thanks for taking this YouTube ride with me, where I get a chance to talk, give my thoughts, and interact with some of you in the comment section. Today I wanted to talk about friendship. It's a very difficult subject for me to talk about. This is something I've been wanting to talk about for a very long time. The truth is, it's an embarrassing topic when you talk about not having friends. Because for some reason, friendship is a demonstration of our humanness and the tendency to want to be in groups, to want to belong, to want to project this impression to the world that we matter to other people. There seems to be basic human needs, and friendship is a most perfect expression of the need to belong. I think it may even be perhaps as strong, if not stronger, than emotional romantic love. And I don't need to go through all the details of the benefit of friendship. We all know it. We have all experienced how good it feels to have a good friend, how fun it is to be able to laugh, to have someone that connects with us. That makes us feel good. We don't feel depressed if we have a problem. Imagine the difference if we have to face it alone versus if we just spill it out to a friend. Something about that somehow makes us feel very good. It's hard to say, oh my God, I don't have friends, or at least I don't have as many friends as I probably should. I think we are perhaps affected or influenced by the culture of girls groups, so Sex in the City. Almost every girl's book, it's really a group of 3 or 4 girls who've been through thick and thin and who tell each other everything and who are just solid. There may be some conflict, but somehow they fix that through humor, through working it out, to even lashing it out a little bit. But the friendship that is portrayed in the popular subculture is so strong that we see girls going through those things. It's always hard to think that, oh my God, I don't have friends. We have people that we communicate with. We have people in our social circle. Like if you are in a book club at work, you go to lunch with people. But the type of friendship that we see portrayed, being portrayed on TV or in books, we wonder sometimes why we don't have a group of girlfriends that we travel with, that we do all these things with. So like the housewives even. The housewives is a whole level of drama, but there's friendship and there's community of womenhood that is portrayed. And we watch those things because it's just something I think we all would aspire to have. Yet again, not too many of us have that. I have to say that I don't have the type of thick and thin group of girls that I do everything with, that I club with, that I hang out with and leave my kids with the babysitter to hang out with. I don't have that. That's what I want to talk about. The benefit of friendship, which I've talked about, how good that makes us feel, our need to belong, and why we don't have this type of social circle, at least many of us, and those of us who wish we could have that, why we don't have that. That's what I want to talk about. I hear some thunder, so let's try to go really fast here. I'm on a roof garden I'm with my mom. She's in the hospital. So whenever I get a break, I try to talk to you. I have to admit that this idea of friendship come to me because I was feeling lonely. To be honest, I was feeling lonely because I was reflecting life and how my mom, who used to be very energetic and so forth, is sort of facing some health issue now, and I'm just here with her. And I was feeling emotionally lonely somehow. I didn't feel like there were like a group of friends where I could have a teleconference, all four girls just like going and just kind of distract me a bit. It hit me again that this yearning for friendship that we all have and why we don't have that. Also, I have to say that a loss of friendship sometimes is as hurtful as any other loss of relationship. For some reason, I had a friend of 30 years. This year, I kept looking for her. I kept trying to communicate with her to the point of calling the landlord, try to see if I can have her apartment door open. And I kept sending texts, I kept sending messages. And then she finally sent me a message and say, I just don't want to talk to you. That's been hurtful. That's been very hurtful to me. I've been going through stages of accepting that and trying to question why. I imagine that I know it's a good person, I know it's a sensitive person. There may have been things that I didn't respond to that she needed, like more time she needed with me. I mean, she's single, I have kids, I have all type of stuff going on, she's retired and all that. I feel like perhaps I could have been a better friend and so forth. Very important to admit when we lose someone in our life, potentially our role in that. So I admit that it could have been that she didn't feel like I give her enough. And I only know that because we've had that discussion before where she felt I wasn't giving her enough time and things like that. Other things like difference in temperament issues. But be it as it may, it's been very painful to me. And I've gone through stages where I feel I no longer want to ever talk to her again because trust has been broken. Regardless, I feel that has hurt me, that has affected me a bit. So friendship is important, and when we lose it, that can also hurt us. The whole portrayal of girlfriends, I don't know if it's just fiction or not, or if it's reality. For whatever reason, I have not experienced that, and maybe at my age or something, at the stage where I am in life, I shouldn't be expecting that. I'm not sure, because it seems to me along the way, I feel like all those girlfriends I had in high school, they should have still been part of my life. Girlfriends, my roommates that I was so close with in college, I don't understand why they're not a part of my life. I mean, I went to an all-girl boarding school, Catholic boarding school, and somehow I had a lot of friends in my young age. Now I have friends where occasionally we may do something, but I'm not spending a lot of time hanging out with them. I have to admit that it's true that I'm like perhaps too busy to really feel super hurt, but occasionally I do think about how nice it would be to have this type of friend circle. But it seems very clear like there are some very specific reasons why we may not be having this type of friendships that we're seeing that's being portrayed. For one, I think it's just life changes. I hate to put it this way. I have noticed the more, let's say, progress in life, and if the circle of friends you have somehow didn't do those things, it seems like for some reason the friendship does not evolve. The friendship does not evolve. As much as sometimes you want it to evolve, it doesn't evolve. That's too bad, because those are people who have some social capital with that you wish you could be relying on, but somehow along the way as you're transforming, I lost those friendships. I don't know if it's by pure luck that you get to have people who choose to remain in your life, or if it's something that I did wrong. It's true that I don't go around calling all the time, but I think if people had advice to give me, I seriously would take that. To be honest, besides the fact that as you're progressing somehow, you're moving and you're having family, you're having all these things, you're somehow finding that your circle of friends that you had in college, in high school, is just dangling. New people that you're meeting in your older age, the connection, the social capital has not been invested in. You never really somehow, at least in my case, find myself being able to really connect closely like people I connected with in high school and college. So that's one thing. It's just as you're changing and you're evolving, you notice that somehow those friendships are not there. And the second too is when you start being a little bit wiser and older, you start really seeing people for who they are. You start having trust issues. Whereas in high school, you could have been having drama after drama. And perhaps that's why sometimes I find the housewives behave like high school or like kindergarten. So I'm not sure that's something I could take. I find it entertaining, but it's not something I could take. But I find that the older you get, you start not trusting people that's going to create drama and conflict in your life. Just being more mature and having more trust issue from bad experience you've had of betrayal from women, which to me is as hurtful as break up with a man. It's another source of loss of friendship. People assume that I have a lot of friends. I have a lot of connections. I had a lot of like a social circle where I have, for example, intellectual connections in social club, book clubs, and a few of those members I connect with on a closer level, which means I might call them. If I don't hear from them, they would call me, and once in a while we would have a gathering. But other than that, it's not something that really is happening. So guys, just tell me, once we have other fulfilling relationship in our life with our kids, our spouse, our family, is it enough? Should we still have this yearning to have girlfriend clique? Right now I feel I'm missing that. Like I say, guys, that's probably why I'm bringing so much content because just trying to have some form of mental break from what potentially could be a stressful situation. But it is at those moments when I start self-reflecting and think more about things. I hope I make sense. I hope I make sense about why we don't have friends in our lives like we did when we were younger. I think it's just changes in personalities, changing in experience, and not wanting to delve and continuing drama that can come in girls' friendship circle that perhaps is causing us not to have those friends. Even if you have a friend circle, I actually question this type of imagery that I see where you just go around and talk about all your business. So ideally then, what type of friends we should have, we should try to have when you get to a certain level. I feel like we can actually invest in developing a group of friends at later in life, because I have someone who did that. This person had essentially retired and had a lot of money and was lonely, And he decided to curate friends, to actually court friendship, people that he identified were, being an economist, I refer to quality people. But it's not to be snobism. Quality in the sense of emotional connection, value, people of value from a intellectual, mental, potentially mental connection. So that's what we call quality and value. Not like, oh, you low quality because you're not pretty. None of that. He actually curated his friends and he went about courting friends. And I remember I was fresh out of college. This guy literally courted me. We formed a whole social circle ultimately where we met once a month and we had potluck. We discuss politics and whatever, you name it. And that group, for example, I've been hanging out with for the last 20 years. It's not the friendship that's calling each other on the phone and talking about each other's business, the guys that we slept with and those stuff that's going on in our bedroom. But it's somehow some form of enduring form of friend circle that perhaps could mentally satisfy us. Solution. Perhaps as a solution, we try to curate our friend circle. I know I need to do a better job calling people more, connecting more with them, even if it's not about telling my business. I'm going to have to try to do a little bit more of it. To that friend that I lost, I feel like I've been betrayed by her because of the way she treated me. So I don't feel like I can trust her to continue a relationship again. I feel it's too bad. So I don't know. Tell me what your experience is with friendship. Anyway, guys, happy friendship if you have a circle of friends. It was a month thing. So if you like my content, please like and subscribe. Until next time, bye.